I come on the blog all the time and teach you how to get rid of your hot flashes, how to get more sleep, how to get rid of brain fog in menopause. Knowing how to balance your hormones naturally is one thing, but doing it is another. So today we're taking a step back and I want to know, where have you been putting all this stuff that I've been teaching you? Are you getting it to work for you? How do you become a woman who puts these kinds of healthy habits into practice day in and day out? That's what today's video is about. I'm Dana Lavoie. I'm an acupuncturist and herbalist specializing in women's health for over 15 years, and I teach women how to use customized Chinese herbs combined with the best diet and lifestyle for their hormones to feel amazing during and after menopause. And today we're talking about, once you know what to do to feel better, like you really know, how do you make it happen day in, day out? Today, I am going to teach you 5 practical, scientifically proven and time-tested strategies for becoming great at creating these new healthy habits. And then I'm going to give you my 6th technique, which is the other way that I help my clients and students to do this. It's a little bit magical, and we'll talk about it at the end so you'll know where to get more information on it. So here's the list of things I'm going to talk about today. How to create a morning routine, how to create an evening routine, how to use essential oils to hack your brain, how meal prep is the key to weight loss without dieting, and I'm going to show you some really skillful hacks on just how to successfully create new habits. Such a great life skill. Okay, so I'm going to go into each one of these in a little bit of detail, give you the highlights, and then if you watch this video on my blog, there'll be at least one link to an in-depth article where you can go to really dive deep and learn more about that particular topic and really start doing it. So whichever ones are right for you right now, I'm going to give you those links where you can go dive deep. All right, here we go. First one is your morning routine. Why do you need a morning routine? How do you create one? What do you put in one? And how do you make it successful? There's no doubt that successful and healthy people often have a morning routine. It's just been proven over and over. Creating a morning routine, I can tell you, I resisted it for a long time. It took me a long time to get it going. It was worth every minute I spend on it. It is so wonderful once you get it going. Now, what you put in there is going to depend on you, but some of the most common things to put in there that work really well are exercise, healthy food, and some kind of meditation. And of course, I've got a link to some articles that will help you build your perfect morning routine, but I've also got a link there to a video by Marie Forleo who gives a really great tip. You can have a great morning routine. That doesn't mean it's going to work successfully for you. The key to making it successful is just decide that your morning routine is non-negotiable, that you are going to do it all the time. Pretty much. So of course, if you have a 5 a.m. flight you have to catch one day, maybe that day you won't do it. But the rest of the time is so important that you actually plan and schedule other meetings and activities in a way that they will leave you the time you need to do your morning routine. So it really, really becomes how you start your day. All right, so that is a morning routine. Now the evening routine is like, the other end of the sandwich here. Why do you need an evening routine? Here's why. Good sleep starts with your evening routine. There is nothing like having some rituals, some ways of helping you transition out of your busy mind, productive, multitasking workday and into the winding down time of evening, telling your nervous system and your brain it's time to switch gears. This doesn't just happen automatically. It really, really helps to have rituals and routines to help with this. My favorite things to include in an evening routine are, first, sit down and plan the most important things you're going to do the next day and make sure they are based on your most important goals in your life at the moment. Once you have that set up, you can then forget about it until tomorrow. Number 2 is come up with some kind of closing transition, a ritual, something you do that helps you shift out of the mode you've been in all day and into your evening mode. And this is going to be different for different women. It could be, 10 minutes of exercise, a little meditation, walking the dog. It could be so many different things. I've got more suggestions on the blog. It could be a certain essential oil diffuser blend, but something that you do that signals to it could be taking off your watch. It could be changing your clothes, right? It could be so many different things, but something that you do consistently that signals to your system that it's time to start winding down. And if you want a bonus something to put in your evening routine, put in a little bit of stretching to counteract whatever you've been doing during the day, and then reflect on the day by writing for just a few minutes in a gratitude journal. And I have a really wonderful article for you on evening routines that I'm linking to in the blog. It's one of my favorite in this whole blog post. Okay, the next is skillful habit forming. Boy, this is an essential life skill for wise women. And I like to think we are now at the age where we are older and wiser. And so this is something we know how to do. And if you don't, that's okay. You can learn it. There are just some really practical step-by-step things you can do to be successful in forming healthy new habits. And I talk about what they are more in the blog, and I link to some amazing articles that will just really get you started with this. Things like just trying to do a little bit better than the day before, like 1% better, but 1% every day. Like picking new habits that are so small, you can absolutely be successful in doing them for at least 30 days in a row. A lot of little ways you can build up these habits more successfully than you ever thought possible. And I've just got all kinds of resources. These are just things you learn and then you do. Anyone can do it. Whereas, how many years go by just thinking, I want to eat better. I want to exercise more. I want to do this. I want to do that. It doesn't really become who you are. Well, this is how you make that transition. Okay. It's time for us to embrace this, to know how to do it. It's an essential life skill. Okay, and then I talk a little bit about meal prep, because if you're not doing any of this, I really think this is the key to losing weight without dieting, right? If you have abundant, healthy food, meals, and snacks available ahead of when you're hungry, ahead of when you crave it, ahead of when you need it, you are going to eat that instead of reaching for all the other stuff. So you can either sign up for one of those services where they deliver, they're ready to cook or ready to eat meals and snacks for you, or you can do a little bit of meal prep. Now, meal prep can be complicated. It can be overwhelming. Basically, it's like, on the weekend, you prepare certain meals and snacks for the whole week. And you can customize this enormously. But I found an absolutely fantastic article where they just nailed stuff that is delicious, satisfying, healthy, and pretty easy to prepare. It's like 3 full weeks of stuff, and it's really accessible. So check that out. Give it a try. Let me know if it changes your life. It is powerful. And then I have a section on essential oils, because they are a great way to hack your brain and hack your habits. Okay, so the scent receptors in our brain are closely tied to emotions, and emotions are closely tied to behaviors and habits. Whether it is a negative emotion, like when you feel stressed, you want to eat something unhealthy, or when you feel anxious, you want to do something unhealthy. That's one thing. And you can use the essential oils to help change the emotion when you feel that cycle starting to happen. Instead of just doing the unhealthy thing, you can do the oils to actually shift the emotion. And so it's so much easier to take a different action. Also, you can associate other oils with the good habits. So when you do something, if you always diffuse the same blend when you exercise, right? If you always diffuse the same blend when it's your best time of day and you're sitting down to do your most productive work and you want clear thinking, you can associate certain fragrances with clear thinking, with feeling happy, with exercising, with meditating, all these different kinds of things. If you do them together consistently enough, you will form a link, and then the oil itself will just trigger you right into doing that positive thing. So there's different ways you can use the oils. They're really powerful. I've got some different blends on the blog, 2 or 3, and links to a whole bunch more in ways you can use this easy but powerful tool. And just a quick note about essential oils. I used to avoid them like crazy because fragrance things give me a migraine, but it turns out if you use really high quality essential oils, that doesn't happen. So I give you some tips on different places where you can find those. So that's 5. Those alone are just gonna change your life. But I do have a bonus tip, another way that you can do this, especially if you are getting stuck. And this isn't something that's quite as easy to incorporate, so I just wanted to mention and tell you where to go to get more information about it. And that is something I do with my clients and students, and it's using really specific herbal combinations to open up energy blockages in the central channel. So what the heck is that? So, you have this energetic channel that runs through your body, and it runs through your like reproductive area and your gut, right? And then it goes through your diaphragm and it comes up to your heart and your brain. And there is a tendency, a common thing that can happen where your brain and, your heart can get kind of disconnected from your lower energy centers, right? Your primal urges and your gut, right? It's a little more sort of kindness and logic up here, and a little bit more the lizard brain stuff going on down there. And when you get an energy blockage between those two, you can just think about all the good things you want to do all day, but when it comes to it, that message is not getting to your gut, right? It's not getting to the other part of your brain, to the other part of what drives you. And opening up those energy blockages is a little bit magical. All of a sudden, it feels like those two parts of you are talking to each other, and everybody's getting the message like, why wouldn't I do these healthy things? Because I'll feel so much better. And it's like opening a door, and it can just make really changes you've been stuck on for years. It's like, boom, all of a sudden you're making them. So if you want to learn more about how to do that, because the herbs that you use do need to be customized for you and supported for your system, you can download my 4 Steps to Getting Out of Menopause Overwhelm guide. It's free. It's on the blog. That will get you started on learning how to use the herbs. But then you want to watch out for the next time I'm teaching my free online masterclass on herbs for menopause, or opening my online program for women on herbs for menopause and postmenopause, because that's where you're going to find more about how to actually use this herbal technique. But all the other ones, go for it. I hope you will use this as a framework. Make this your inbox. Make this the place where you take all the other stuff I'm usually teaching you about. Do this to reduce your hot flashes. Well, once you learn that stuff, this is how you get in the habit of doing it every day, because that's when it's going to really start to make a difference in how you feel. So I hope you found this helpful. And if you have questions, I'd love to hear them. Put them in the comments below. Definitely, if you're watching on YouTube, check out this video on my blog. The link is below, because then you'll get all the details, my essential oil diffuser blends, my links to all the articles on how to do these different steps more in depth. And you can always catch me in one of my live Q&As on my Facebook page. I usually do those once a week on Wednesdays. You can ask me questions in my Facebook group, Menopause Made Easy, and you can just put in the comments below or send me an email. I'm here for you guys. I'd love to hear what you think about this, and I'd love to hear your questions, and I'd love to know more about where you're getting stuck and what you want my help with. All right, so I'm Dana Lavoie. I am an acupuncturist and herbalist. I specialize in women's health, and online I teach women how to use customized Chinese herbs supported by the best diet and lifestyle for their hormones to feel powerful and vibrant during and after menopause. So if that's something you could use more of, stick around, and I'll see you next time. Bye.